Hello YouTube, this is Shirley426 and today we have the review of the HGUC or High Grade Universal Sentry Rezel Commander Type. Now I really wanted to try this kit for some time, but every time I went to Gundam base it would be sold out. But recently I was able to get my hands on one and it was a pretty fun kit and I really love the design. So first of all, for those who haven't seen my video yesterday, is that I finally got a new camera, a new DSLR to be more specific, and which is why you are now seeing the intro pictures again. And currently this new camera slash DSLR I have has a video filming function as well, so which is why I'm going for it at the moment. I believe it does take in 50 frames per second for some reason, but still on YouTube it goes up on 60 frames per second. Granted that I also do edit my videos as well. So hopefully, if you do like the quality of this video or this camera and the sound quality, just do let me know, because I'm still trying to figure out a few bugs. Alright, so let's see what we got. So for those who don't know, this the Rezel was basically basically the successful case of mass producing the Zeta Gundam. At first there was the Zeta Plus, but not enough, and the most problematic with the Zeta Gundam was the transformation process being too complex, even technologically as well. So later they made the Mestas, which had a much more simple transformation. So later that was implemented to make the Zeta 2, and later the Rezel series, and it was a successful case. Alright, so as usual, we're going to go over our usual components. So first of all, what you get, of course, is obviously the Rezel Commander Type itself. There is a HGUC a regular Rezel, which has the red cameras all around available as well, and then there is another one which was used in the General Revel, which I believe in HGUC wise has the double mega launchers as well, in color of more yellow and brown. Alright, so other than that, let's see what we get. So first of all, you obviously get the Rezel Commander Type itself, and then we get a very long weapon called the Mega Launcher, I believe, which should be like kind of similar design as the one that the Zeta Gundam uses. So I believe this is actually called, the full name is like the Mega Beam Launcher, but there are multiple ways that people say it, so just keep that in mind. And then we do get a shield. On the wiki, I believe this is just called the shield, but according to the manual, this thing actually does have a name called the Beam Cannon Shield. So yeah, or unless I'm reading that wrong. But basically, what's interesting about the shield that the Rezel has is that it doesn't only work as a shield, but there's also like a beam cannon that's on the shield as well. So definitely one of the unique weapons and useful weapons out there. Other than that, here's what we get. So for those who have not built, for example, the HGUC Delta Plus, the Delta Gundam or Zeta Plus, all of those kits or those mobile suits are known to transform into a Waverider form. But in HGUC kit-wise, they don't transform on themselves, but you have to replace a few parts. So there are parts forming kits. You can see this is like a whole big block, and you can see there's like a illusion where this is the shoulder arms of the Rezel. So yeah, we basically take off like the legs, the chest, the arms, and pretty much everything you can, and then pretty much slap it onto these parts as well. So this one and these three parts are pretty much used for that purpose. So I won't go over the transformation process, but because I've done that a good number of times, and I think that would also make the video way too long. So yeah. And then you get 2 beam saber effect parts and 2 beam saber hilts. Now originally, or supposedly, these beam sabers are supposed to be stored inside the arm. However, so to be specific, they are supposed to be stored in here. Sometimes you either store the grenades or the beam sabers as well. It really depends on your choice for the master grade wise. But still, they're supposed to be stored in here. However, they do not open on this kit as well, which is funny because on the Rigzy it opens up, but this one does not. So yeah, although even the Rigzy does open, it doesn't actually store in anything. So yeah. So yeah, we get 2 of those. I'll be leaving 1 for demonstration, and then we get 2 sticker sheets. So number 1 is a sticker decal sheet, which has all the numbers and symbols, so you can pretty much slap in any number or symbol you want to do so. And then here we have the sticker sheet. Now this may look like a lot, but don't get too scared or fooled, because as you can see, other than this yellow one, which I didn't use, is the V symbol on the crotch area. Everything else is pretty much the camera part. That goes onto the kit. So all these green ones are all sensor parts as well. So and yeah, all of them stick pretty well. So yeah, no reason not to use them. And leftover piece wise, there's not much. Number 1, we have a We have a leftover polycap sheet, nothing too special. We always have leftover polycaps. And then this one, they do give you a green beam saber effect part. However, you don't actually use this one as well, because even in the manual, this thing's crossed out. So yeah, but still good to know you get actually a green one. And then a half of a trigger finger. Now the reason why we have a leftover of this is that the one that this kit actually uses is that it does also have a trigger finger. However, this is a standard ball joint. The one you use on this kit is that it's a much more longer and an angled ball joint as well, so which is why you don't use this one. Of course, if you have an extra beam rifle, I guess you could use a standard beam rifle that could be attached to the Rezel. I guess you can use that as well. And yeah, and there is a trigger finger of but just to save time, I already just attached it to the gun, the Mega Beam Launcher, just to save time as well. Alright, so let's see what we got. So let me get this out of the stand and see the articulation. Alright, so let's start with the head as usual. Now the head, I definitely, being a fan of mass production types or gym type mobile suits, the head is definitely, I would consider this to be a very cool design as well. Even now, the visor is technically a clear piece, right? As you can see. However, behind that clear piece is also another metallic green sticker. So, which is why we are able to get that shine effect much more. It actually does make a big difference when you think about it. And then, as you can see on these parts and on the shoulders, all of those are the stickers I mentioned, even on the head, and there's one, I believe, on the back of the head as well. So, yeah, most of those green stickers are for the cameras, and yeah, there's one also on that goes onto the back of the shoulder, and then now we also have this one as well. So the head articulation wise, let's see what we got. So it can go down that much, which is pretty standard, and then up, let's see how much up it can go, which is pretty much standard if you ask me. And then 360 twist, since it is on a ball joint, it is possible to go 360, but once again, I'm not really too sure why a mobile suit would go 360 on its own head, because I believe that's pretty much the reason. Isn't that why there is a back head camera? And then let's look at the arms. Now the arms articulation was much different than I thought, and I'm still getting used to this camera, so yeah, just bear with me. So let me just get the shield off first. The way how the shield connects is that we have a peg here and then a hole there, and then that's pretty much it. So the arm articulation, the main connection here is a ball joint from the main body. So there's a polycap inside the shoulder, and then you connect it. But because of that aspect, this thing does not have any extra articulation. So you can slightly move forward and backward, but that's because you have a ball jointed connection, and so you can say it's kind of limited on the articulation on the shoulders as well. But you can pretty much still work your way around. But of course, articulation wise, I can't say this is the best one, but you have to move the shoulder arms a little bit to go to the side 90 degrees, and then you only have like a 90-degree bend going on here, and you have your typical ball jointed hands, and then a 360 twist on the actual arm. And then technically you could, since it is on the ball joint, you could rotate the arm as well, but you're gonna have to work your way around through the wings just to make sure you don't collide with them. And with the white sections, they did a pretty good job with the color separation on the white parts. I was expecting to see some white stickers, but there were none, so yeah. Alright, so before we go to the other parts, let's look at the back section. So here we have the back section, we have the Mega Launcher, which is actually connected to here. So there's a connector on the middle section right over here. And then we have the wings, which are connected to a double peg. So they shouldn't be rotating around. Of course, they do sometimes get loose, and they do sometimes rotate, but they're not supposed to do that. And then we have these wings that can move forward and backward. And then we have these parts, the handles, which is later for the Waverider mode. So I'll be showing a demonstration of this later. Alright, so let's see what we got on the body. So the body, nothing too much. We do have slightly a movement, but that's just due to the connection aspect. And then 360, not possible because something is blocking the way, mostly the back skirt. And then let's see, we have the side skirt, but despite being called side skirts, it's not connected to the waist. It's actually connected to the, to the side sections right over here. It is a ball joint connection. The ball joint is a polycap right over there. And then, I really didn't do a good job cleaning this part. But the front skirts, once again, these are a single piece, but you are able to separate them if you want to do so. And then the V symbol is supposed to be a yellow sticker, but I decided to use a gold Gundam marker and color it as well. And then here we have the side sections. We have a side swivel going on here. You can go to the side that much. Something is blocking the way to go 90 degrees as well. And then you can go forward almost 90 degrees and backward not so much because the back skirt, oops, sorry about that. The back skirt does not move as well. But still, I say that's pretty good for now what it is. And let's see. The bending wise, we have a decent bend. We have a pretty much double jointed bend going on here. And then feet wise, we have a nice toe bend that goes down as well. So of course this is mostly due to the transformation as well. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the basics of the mobile suit as well. So with the large mega beam launcher, this is actually connected to a peg, so you can pretty much rotate it around and move it up forward. And I would like to mention that the main peg that connects the connector here does actually have some articulation that can go side to side a little bit, so you do have a little bit of freedom as well. So basically, once you have it in position, all you need to do is pretty much just take out the original hand and then reconnect the ball joint as you see fit. So depending on how you connect it, you can go make it look going down, or you can go straight up or forward. So it really depends on your taste. And then once again, the shield, I already told you that you can connect it to the arm as well. And yeah, so regarding the beam sabers, it's pretty much your standard beam saber effect part. So let me just take this off for now. They just slide into the hands and you're good to go. So let me show you guys that. And there you go. You pretty much have all your standard stuff other than the large and long mega beam launcher. Alright, so we've seen the basics of the mobile suit. So the mobile suit does have basic articulation. The only part that I would say it's lacking would be the number one would be the shoulder articulations, and number two would be the articulation on the amount of bend in the arm. So other than that, it's a pretty good kit. It's definitely a standard kit if you ask me, and I really love the design of this. So now I'll be right back with the transformation. The transformation pretty much involves taking off the arms, legs, chest piece as well, and then slapping it all on a block. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So apparently I just learned something new about my camera, is that while filming, if it goes over a certain memory limit, it starts splitting the video. So if you're watching this video and suddenly see a cut in my voice for no reason, that's basically the main reason. So sorry about that. If I can find another way to fix that, I'll try to keep using this camera, but if it gets really problematic, I'll have to just use my previous camcorder. Alright, so currently I have it in its Waverider form, and I brought out the Gundam Escort type to put it on its back using the extra handle right over there. And it works pretty well. And I definitely do like the look on how it's riding the mobile suit like that as well. So you can definitely see those handles do work pretty well. So if you want to have two or just a single mobile suit on the back, you can always use those handles. The other handle is also stored inside on the other side, so you can have two handles as well. I'm just having trouble reaching there at the moment, so I'm just gonna plug this back in. So here we have the Waverider form. I definitely love the design of it. Definitely compact and chunky. Now I wasn't the biggest fan of the Meta's design and its transformation, but despite that, this is basically based on that technology, so I definitely have to, say kudos to that. So here's what happens to the Rezel. So you have the main Rezel, you take off the chest, you use the entire waist section and legs and the back of the wings as well, and you pretty much slap everything onto the blocks as well. So I mean, usually the previous ones, such as the Delta Plus, the Delta Gundam, for example, for those they actually use the entire arms as well, but in this case that's not the case at the moment. So yeah, definitely compact, and yeah, there's not much to do actually. But there is one more thing I need to mention, is that number one, the leftover part, you don't actually use this part, so this is technically a leftover, so that's my bad. And this one, you don't actually use. This is the part that connects the main legs, and you don't actually use these as well on the transformation. So these are leftover once you have them in Waverider form. And because of the lack of that piece, you have a huge empty gap right over here, and the main action-based connector hole is inside there. So which is why I'm using this, because it requires a specific connector, which is this one. So not the ideal, but still you'll have to work your way through. Or I don't know, maybe if you have a spare of one of these things, you can always cut off these parts and then just plug it in and use this to bring out the hole outside and use a more reasonable action base. And that's pretty much it. While in pretty much any mobile suit that transforms into a Waverider form, there's not much you can do in this form at this point. I mean, other than moving the wings, I guess. And that's pretty much it for the review. So this was the review of the HGUC Rezel Commander Type. So if you guys got any questions or requests, even comment below. I still have more stuff to buy and build and make reviews out, so please stay tuned. Until then, see you guys next time.